1 hour and 20 minutes of fun-filled action here for this one, and what a great place to go to. We just had the NASCAR series here this past weekend, but we are here with the GT cars as we get set to go once again. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sam Bennett here with you for ESPN, and thank you for making us a part of your evening. Joining me in the booth once again is one Mr. Byron Rodney. And Byron, you raced last week, you're back in the booth this week. Gotta be looking forward to this one as we head to the Lone Star State,
Yep, Lone Star State, Austin, Texas, everybody. Circuit of the Americas, or as we quaintly call it, COTA. 16 turns, 3.43 miles of racing in these GTE and GT3 cars, and this league does not disappoint. Trust me, I know. I had a tough time even trying to compete with the guys last week at Spa. One of my favorite tracks. I know that track well, and these guys know how to pick them up and put them down. Let me tell you.
To go forward into qualifying in just less than a minute, and it's who's going to come out on top of this one. Obviously less drivers involved in this one this week, only 19 I'm counting, but still going to put on a great show as we get ready to go ahead into qualifying. And the one man that's currently at the top is the man that dominated last week's race, Dennis Diaz. He's looking for his third race win of the season.
Yeah, he knows how to get around this course. He put down a blistering qualifying time at 2 minutes flat. Only a tenth and a half of a second over 2 minutes. As I see Dennis Diaz is taking it out on the track on his out lap. He's going to have 2 laps to qualify. They got 10 minutes to get their fastest time in, and it'd be interesting to see how he does it.
Off the boil over the last couple of races. We'll be hoping to pick things up as this session progresses, as we bring you up the ticker right now, and a brand new ticker for this one. We're going to use the high rise ticker for this one going across the top of your screen. The guys in yellow are the GTE drivers, the guys in blue are in GT3. There are a couple of guys shaded in black. That's because SDK is problematic sometimes and won't do exactly as I tell it to do, but nevertheless, those guys shaded in black are GT3 drivers. I can assure you, going to be interesting to see how this one pans out with the new ticker and everything else online. So we're always proud to upgrade our graphics and have everything there for you.
Yeah, as you know, we do the best we can here at ESPN to bring you the racing, but you know what? We don't really have to work so hard to do that. When you have incredible drivers like the league and the Endurance for Amateurs here, they put on the show. They make our job really easy.
As we are looking still at Stephen Thompson, we've got everybody out on pit road right now, out on track right now, out of pit road. We've only got Timothy Emanuele, Tony Watson, Brad McCombs, and Paul Skip in pit road at the moment. A couple of new drivers to make note of. One is Matt Arrington. He's currently driving the Mercedes right now. You see him right there in the sports code Mercedes. Very nice blue colours with the black outline as well. And we've got Keith Roycroft in the Ally BMW. So new drivers coming in all the time. Obviously, last week you made your debut last week, along with Paul Skip and Ryan Tyler. Tyler also running a blue BMW here again tonight.
Yeah, I've never run the BMW around Spa. I've always opted for the Ferrari, as you know. But they didn't have the Ferrari in the GTE class, and I went ahead and ran the BMW. And I'll tell you what, it was a fun car to drive. I'm going to be looking forward to the 24 of Spa, but those are all going to be GT3 cars. And I think I'm going to make the announcement for you, Sam, to coming to Spa for the 24 on the Team VSM ESPN Endurance team. We're going to be probably running a Mercedes.
Adkins race as a team, which was as a phenomenal evolution, but we haven't run it since. We've run the Ferrari every year in that race, and we've discovered that the Mercedes is probably the better car to go with around that track. It seems a lot more stable and a lot faster, so we kind of fancy our chances this time around.
Yeah, we've had cars with race-winning pace, Sam, but we didn't have race-winning luck.
treacherous around there with everybody in the same category, and always going to be treacherous with how things are. But focusing on this race, qualifying underway. Stephen Thompson, the first driver out on track, is going to be able to put his time in first, but Dennis Diaz, currently in the purple right now, he's the man that's fastest out on track right now. They're pretty identical on the track, so their times will come in pretty quickly, one on top of each other.
Yeah, they're going to be coming in fast and furious. As I'm looking at Dennis Diaz through all the sectors on the track, 1, 2, and 4, he has laid down blistering pace. It'd be interesting to see what his time's going to be compared to everybody else's. And Dennis Diaz brings it across the start-finish line right now to log his first qualifying lap, and straight to the top of the board with a 1:59. Wow.
This is the man that everybody's got to beat in this category. That's Tony Watson, has won the last 2 races in GT3. We'll be looking to pick up a hat-trick here tonight with Carter McCollum no longer taking part in the series, and with rivals just not turning up around him. He's pretty much plain sailing towards that GT3 title now with only 3 races to go.
Yeah, GT3 has been competitive. It's been a little more competitive than the GTE class, but we'll have to wait and see. You know, we still got a few races to go, and see how this thing shakes out.
Bryce Anderson jumping up to second place in his Porsche, and it's good to see that he's brought the well, it's a different carnation of the Porsche that he ran before. It's the Scherer Porsche that he ran at, I believe it was at Sebring he ran that. Ryan Tyler jumping up to third place after his qualifying run. Stephen Thompson dropping down to fourth. Michael Ogren, who's had a lot of bad luck the last couple of races, will be looking to pick that up this time around as he's looking to pick up his second race win of the season. He's currently down in P5 right now. Mark Dillon Jr. bringing out the Panda Porsche once again. He is with the Angro Panda Porsche. He's he's still looking for a race win. He almost got one a couple of rounds ago. Unfortunately, came up just a little bit short. I'm hoping to go one step better, but he's only in P6 right now. Sean Adkins Jr. though, he's Sean Adkins, not Sean Adkins Jr. He's currently leading GT3 right now. GTE is very depleted this week, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I think the GT3 cars are a little easier to handle around the track. They do turn the slower time, so guys opting to go with the GT3 class, you're going to have more entries in there. You're going to have more competitive field, I should say. But as I say that, I'm looking at the qualifying time. Sean Atkins with a 2:06, 2:07 for the second, third, and fourth place qualifying in GT3. And you can throw a blanket over those, but Sean Atkins, boy, he laid down a lap in GT3.
Johnson jumps up to third himself and displaces him immediately. Rex Oil, who got that podium a couple of weeks ago, he is currently in P5 in GT3. There's Marcus Osborne in the Reese's BMW, always a popular figure out on track and in the YouTube chat as he's coming across the line to complete a lap there, and he's only going to be, well, he's going to be the last driver to put a time down on the board. He's currently sitting P6. Make that P7. No, it is P6 in GT3. This new system is slightly confusing, but we'll get used to it. Paul Skip out on track in the JPS Porsche. He really put on a great show last week at Spa. Really putting Bryce Anderson under a lot of pressure last week and hoping to do the same this week. He really made a name for himself last week as Zachary Nirnberger goes to the top in GT3.
Zachary Nirnberger laying down a pretty darn quick lap at 2:06 too. But I'm thinking their first lap is going to be their fastest lap. And so I got my eyes on Paul Skip going around the track right now.
We're getting ever closer to the start of the race here at COTA. before we go anywhere, let's not forget to hit the subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to that 2,000 mark, and we are definitely, as a broadcaster, we know that, but with your support we can grow even further. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, hit the thumbs up as well, and hit the little bell to show them when we are live again. Brad McCombs just slotted into P9. Paul Skip going up to second, by the way. I just noticed. So
hey, Paul Skips, yeah, I think he's serving notice to Dennis Diaz. You got some competition, buddy.
He's 7/10 off the pace, though, almost. He is ahead of Bryce Anderson, and Anderson seems to be his closest rival right now. Brad McCombs says he's in a bit of a storm situation right now. Apparently, his rig is out in a camper in the woods, and trying to race in a camper in the woods whilst there's a storm outside there, it's probably not the best situation to be in.
No, not at all, but I don't know. As long as you're undercover and all your equipment's keeping dry.
The slowest of the GTE drivers right now in P9, but we'll be hoping to pick that up as the race goes on. 10 seconds left in qualifying. Still no times from Matt Arrington, Paul Boyle, Dave Ferrara, and Timothy Emanuele. Fernando de Oliveira is one of the biggest people missing this week, as well as Lynn Kopp. Still no Lynn Kopp. He didn't turn up last week and not here this week, but that's going to... If things go Watson's way, he might actually wrap this championship up early here tonight. But with that being said, let's go to the grid for tonight's race. And starting off on the pole is going to be the one and only Mr. Dennis Diaz. He'll be joined on the front row by Paul Skipping on his second race of his Endurance for Amateurs career. Bryce Anderson will be on the second row, joined by Stephen Thompson. Row 3 will be Ryan Tyler and Michael Ogren. Row 4 will be Terry Cowger Jr. and Mark Dillon. Row 5 will be Brad McCombs and Paul Boyle, Byron.
Yep, GT3 class, Zachary Nirnberger laying down the fast lap. He'll take the pole position for GT3, and he'll have Sean Atkins to his outside elbow, followed by Tony Watson and Keith Roykoff in the following row. Rex Hoyle, Marcus Osborne, Matt Arrington, Dave Ferrara, and rounding out the field shotgun, not getting into qualifying time, Timothy Emanuele.
COTA, and I'm happy to say no blinky blinkies this week. We're actually having some good quality. Don't want to jinx it, but
no, don't jinx it, because we know that over in Ireland, where the broadcast is being brought to you via Vodafone, a Verizon subsidiary, they sometimes, their hamsters on the wheels get tired for Sam's internet.
Here and there as the GTE field start rolling. They're going to have about a 10-second gap over the GT3s, who will start rolling any second now. As they're going to make their way around the back part of the track. The GT3s do start rolling now.
Yep, Zachary Nirnberger has the lead on, has the button on that in the Lamborghini. I love the paint job he put on that thing, the way it fades from color to color. Speaking of, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at Dennis Diaz. He brought out the meme MW.
He has a good look charm now since he won at Suzuka, so no surprise there at all. But anyway, we are almost ready to go here. They're just making their way around the back end of the row of the course here, and we are very interested to see who's going to come out on top in this one. But Dennis Diaz has been the man on form lately and has really stamped his authority with the championship in mind. Bryce Anderson is going to have a fantastic result out of this one in order to get himself back up in the order. back closer to Dennis Diaz, who I think holds an 8-point lead in the championship. But anyway, they come out of the final corner now. Green flag will be in the air, and we will have racing right about now. And here at COTA, Dennis Diaz getting out to a very impressive early start here as they go down up towards turn 1. It's hard to say up instead of down, but it's very much an uphill turn 1 section as Dennis Diaz already extending his lead out ahead of Paul Skip now as they head down towards the S's.
Yeah, Dennis Diaz not wasting any time to get on the loud pedal and say, see you boys, I'm out of here. Catch me if you can, as he's got an angry hornet's nest, a single file going through the S's right now. That's not really the place you're going to be doing much overtaking. It's kind of a technical sweeping part of the track. You've got long straightaways on this track with some heavy braking. After you get through this technical part, now you're getting down into where you can get some overtaking done under braking as they headed off towards the backstretch.
In the lead right now, followed by Sean Atkins and Tony Watson. It's a Lamborghini 1, 2, 3. Roycroft falling down to P4 in the BMW. There's Rex Hoyle in the Mercedes just ahead of Marcus Osborne. There's Matt Arrington, Timothy Emanuele, and Dave Ferrara rounds out your field of 19 drivers here tonight. But look at the lead for Dennis Diaz already as we come to the close of lap 1 here.
Yeah, he's starting to leg it out a little bit, but the rest of the GTE class is starting to tighten up. Paul Skip's got a challenge by Bryce Anderson right on his rear tail as they bring it down the hill, come around this hard right-hander, and bring it back down the hill, looking for, where the heck am I on this track? COTA's not one of my most noticeable tracks. Here we go. Now we're coming to the final right-handers as we're going to hit... for the start-finish line.
They fan out and start the second lap of this one. There is Bryce Anderson just ahead of Stephen Thompson. GT's starting to spread out already. There's Ryan Tyler. We've got a problem for Rex Hoyle, and we're going to go back and take a look and see what's happened here to the Mercedes driver.
Go back and take a look.
Somebody, I didn't quite see who that was. I think that might have been Sean Atkins. It was Sean Atkins, so Atkins had an issue as well. Let's go back and see what happened to Atkins as he goes off wide and Hoyle just hit the side of him and around went Hoyle.
Yeah, I'm going back further to see what happened with Adkins. It looks like he just dove it in onto the quick right-hander real quick, too hard, took the turn real shallow, lost a lot of momentum. The field got stacked up behind him as he was trying to get it back underway.
Over Paul Skip now, who's still maintaining the gap between himself and Bryce Anderson. Ryan Tyler back in P5 just ahead of Michael Ogren. Now Ogren looking for a good result here tonight to try and keep up the pressure on the top two here. He is third in points, so he's got to have a good result here, but he's also got to get around Ryan Tyler and Stephen Thompson to even think of getting close to Bryce Anderson right now.
Yeah, he's Michael Ogren. He's racing, but got calmness. Cool heads prevail. You got to be at the end of this thing. You got to make it through. That's why we call it endurance racing. As
through this double right-hander section, let's take a look and see what happened here, because I believe Roycroft might have got involved as well. Watson facing the wrong way. Roycroft gets a tag on it as well. Roycroft gets away, but Osborne got a piece of it too.
Yeah, events already starting to happen here.
On the left rear of that Lamborghini, he is in serious trouble early on. As we go back to GTE, there's been a problem for Bryce Anderson because he's fallen back to P6 in GTE now. So it's all kicking off around the track right now. Anderson, the latest one to fall victim to the track.
Okay, as I'm kind of straightening out my timing and scoring here. There we go.
And there is Michael Ogren running wide as Terry Carter Jr. getting involved as well. So we got a 4-car battle for third, well actually a 5-car battle for third place in GTE. What a race we're seeing so far. It's running on lap 4, and we've got 1 hour and 13 minutes left to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at Marcus Osborne. He is trying to get that car back under control. He's got himself, it looks like he's rattled a little bit, losing some positions.
Second in GT3 now. So the two debutants in GT3 moving their way forward in this class, and they look pretty solid at the moment. And Roycroft already been in an incident, but that doesn't seem to bother him at the moment. But the one that's really not bothered at the moment is Zachary Nirnberger. He's looking for his first race win of the season. He's definitely going the right way about it. He's got a massive lead in GT3 right now.
Yeah, Zachary Nirnberger running away with it right now. He is, wow. Big time lead on it. And as Matt Arrington finally gets around Roycroft for the next position.
At that right now, and this is what caused the pass to happen. Roycroft just running an ever so slightly wide, and you got to think the pass was coming up pretty soon. No, it wasn't actually. It was quite a while ago. Take a look at the pass for Arrington. Just got the better line on the exit of the corner and just sailed on by. Arrington making a good name for himself already. As we've got loads of things going on around the track. As here comes Marcus Osborne to the inside of Roycroft. Roycroft just cuts him back out, does the switchback and holds on for now. But Osborne challenging around the outside, trying his best to get that position away from the 48. So it's the battle of the BMWs here. Reese's versus Ally, and Osborne looking to be the man to take advantage of it, and he does. He gets around Roycroft. Roycroft having to fall back with that damage on his car as well.
Sean Adkins, issue for him, crashed as my spotter's calling to me. Ah, okay. Yeah, well, that's my spotters being all pooky.
Just got a lap down, as we're going to see this a lot here tonight. Obviously GT and GT3, two separate classes, and we're going to see a lot of lapping here tonight as this race goes along. And Paul Skip is the second driver to put a driver a lap down, as Dennis Diaz is already putting people lap down. He's already 4.5 seconds ahead of Paul Skip at the moment.
Yeah, but take a look at the battle going on in the GTE class between Michael Ogren and Steven and Thompson and Bryce Anderson. Those three throw a blanket right on top of them.
Bryce Anderson takes advantage of Stephen Thompson trying to get around Michael Ogren and moves his way forward into P5. This battle in GTE really going really kicking off right now.
Yeah, you know what? These guys, if they're going to carry on for an hour and 20 with this kind of intensity, we're going to see a lot more incidents as we go on.
Accidents going on all over the place. Adkins apparently has had another incident as we're taking a look at what happened to Watson, and it looks like he might have just got it wrong. No, he didn't get it wrong. Actually, he's still going. We also had an incident for Keith Roycroft. Let's take a look and see what happened to him, because he fell back as well. And Roycroft, no, it's not going to show me. Okay. Atkins,
There's so much going on,
yeah.
so quick, fast, and in a hurry, Sam. It's tough to keep up with them. I've got the blimp view up, and I've got my eyes up all over this track. We've got racing going on pretty much everywhere. Closest battles, though, right now is Ryan Tyler, Michael Ogren, and Bryce Anderson on the track.
You're not too far back either, and this could go to anybody right now. You'd think it might be a bit too early to be battling like this, but the best position you can get into, if you're faster than the driver in front of you, why not go for the pass? But with an hour and 8 minutes left, though, Byron, is it too early to be battling hard like they are?
It is. It is very early to be battling like this. I would personally, be settling in, trying to find my rhythm. But these guys are like, nope, we're on the brake pedal, we're on the gas pedal, we're turning this thing left and right, and we're battling, man. Look at this group with Bryce Anderson, Ryan Taylor, and Stephen Thompson. They are just all over the places. Oh!
Take a look and see what happened to him right there.
He just caught up in that. He was just caught up in that battle.
Yeah.
Got too much on the brake. Looked like he had too much rear brake dialed in it, trail braking that corner, and snapped see you by, went right around.
Avoid him, and Ogren going to fall to P9 right now. And Blue Jay Games, what's wrong with my voice? He goes, Sam's voice, LOL.
It sounds a little crofty to me. Ooh, did I just go there? Oh, did I go there? As Ogren goes off track, noses it into the outside wall. He is definitely rattled after being in that battle for a while.
I've put all the settings back to the way they should be, so they should be okay now. As Ogren, yeah, you were right there, having another incident right there. Dennis Diaz had a bit of an off track as well. We're going to take a look and see what happened to him. He didn't really have an off track there. He's just extending the track limits a little bit.
Yeah. Which these guys will do. I mean, I found out in Spa, the only time we didn't obey a track limit was on a qualifying lap looking for a time. But there's a lot of time at Spa to be gained by testing those track limits, just as it can be here.
Going off in search of that JPS Porsche, as battles will be resuming between those two for second place once again. But Tyler not letting him get away. This battle for third place still very much on right now.
Yeah, Bryce Anderson took it real wide off of that one corner just 2 corners ago, almost allowing Ryan Tyler to get by, but Ryan Tyler backing off of it a bit.
I believe that was Sean Atkins they put a lap on. No, it wasn't. Who was that? That's a Ferrari of the Lamborghini. I apologise. Of Brad McCoon's making good progress early on. He's up 2 spots in the storm shelter. He's up 2 spots up to P7 now. He's making his way forward. Nobody's giving me feedback on how my voice sounds, by the way, so I'm pretty worried. Mark Dillon Jr. up into P8. Paul Boyle.
I'm going to say your voice is sounding fine. If they're not complaining about it, it's doing good.
That's a very lonely race back there in P9. Teammate to Paul Skip, so very contrasting things happening to 2 teammates right there. Dennis Diaz, he's not worried though. He's out to a pretty decent lead already. Zachary Nirnberger still out to a decent lead. Matt Arrington, 2nd place in GT3. Marcus Osborne now in a comfortable 3rd place ahead of Timothy Emanuele, who's having another good race here tonight, just ahead of Dave Ferrara.
Now, Timothy Emanuele, he started shotgun on the field, if you remember. He's already worked his way up in the standings in the GT3 class and knocking on the door of the top 3.
Place. Not really a battle for 3rd place anymore, more of a battle for 4th place as Bryce Anderson starting to stretch his legs over the 2 BMWs of Ryan Tyler and Stephen Thompson. So not too bad as Michael Ogren, his bad luck just keeps going on. He's around again here, Byron.
Michael Ogren not having a fun time at COTA. See what happens as he comes around the hard left-hander. Just gets on those brakes. Or, nope. Upsets the cars. Turtles, bad. Turtles are bad. Turtles, bad.
'17 BMW, but hopefully he can pull it back as the night goes on. As we go back to Ryan Tyler right now, he's still trying to fend off Stephen Thompson and also at the same time trying to close the gap between himself and Bryce Anderson as they come down through this back end of the course once again. And Thompson not letting Tyler get away at all. This battle been going on since the drop of the green flag here, and Thompson as close as he's ever been to the back of that 69 BMW.
Well, you know, Bryce Anderson, looking in his rearview mirror, has got to be loving what he's seeing, because the more that Stephen Thompson puts that pressure on Ryan Tyler, it's allowing Bryce to get away.
Be unleashed into another battle with Skip. He won the battle last week at Spa and came home in 2nd place as again as Ryan Tyler runs wide out of the left-hander, still managing to keep ahead. Surprised it doesn't give you a slowdown or an off-track if you go off in that section, in that sector.
Oh, you know, that's all about iRacing, how they put the track limits in and what the penalties are for exceeding those track limits. Like last week at Spa, for example, if you cut Eau Rouge completely wrong, where you missed and got off track to the left, driver's side of the car, you had a slowdown, a pretty hard one, 2.5 seconds. You needed to slow down before you got to the next set of corners on the long straightaway. But here it looks like it's, oh, we see Ryan Tyler locking him up, and that allows Stephen Thompson to get right up on his tail. But like I was saying, here it doesn't seem to be a slowdown as these guys are just racing it around the track.
In pretty dramatic fashion, and he's going to fall down the field, and he'll be the latest victim of this track once again. I believe that was Dennis Diaz trying to come up to get around him as well as he was coming back on track. So thankfully Diaz got away with it. Unfortunately for Timothy Emanuele, he suffers the commentator's curse once again.
Yeah, well, you know what? If we didn't talk about anybody, it'd be an awful boring broadcast. But when we do talk about people, yeah. It seems to happen.
races, but he's had a lot of bad luck this season, but seems to be turning around so far as we are literally just hitting the 1 hour mark to go right now, Byron.
Yeah, now, one thing I want to say about Dave Ferrara, and one thing I want to say about the guys in this league, now that I've had a chance to participate with it, they will allow you, as there goes a 3 wide down the front stretch as Denny Diaz is putting a lap on both Dave Ferrara and Keith Roycroft. But what I was saying is, if you're having an issue driving a track or you want to get a little faster, they will put up practices and they will coach you one-on-one. You know, and they'll work with you to make you better, to make you more competitive, to bring your racecraft up. And that's another feather I want to put in the cap of this league.
Four in GT3. Dave Ferrara almost immediately under pressure from Sean Atkins, who's closed up on the back of the Ferrari driver, and Ferrara starting to fall back ever so slightly. Was enjoying himself with a P4, probably not enjoying himself so much right now.
Well, like I said, it's endurance racing. You got to settle in. I had a rattle my brain moment when I was racing in Spa where I just had to take a lap to just, okay, cool. As we see Sean Atkins having a little issue getting around that corner. He is light stepping that car right now. I don't know if he's got any damage or if he's...
You should go back and see what happened to him through the S's just now.
Out going and taking a look right now.
Another part of the S is just a very, very unfortunate incident, and we'll probably teach him not to go so violently over the turtles next time.
Yeah, turtle's bad. But he was able to get that thing backed up onto the track, you know, not into any traffic, able to get it righted and pointed forward. But you got to take a look at the front splitter on that car. He's going to have some aero problems with that thing until he gets his fast repair, because that turtle took put a big dent on the right front of that thing.
Ferrara right now will want to get around this one pretty quickly, because those two are going to be going tooth and nail fighting for position right now. Dave Ferrara going to take a very deep inside line right there, and Sean Atkins running off wide, but they're going to be side by side through the S's here. This is a race for, I believe, 5th place in 4th place. Oh yeah, it's 5th place in GT3. Dave Ferrara going to hold on just for now though.
Yep, that battle heats up as they get through the technical part of the track. You want to have your line when you go through it. If you want to stay in touch with that car, you can't get off the racing line through this technical sweeping part of the track. Not the place to make a bunch of passes. And just as I say that, right behind that duo, we go 3 wide coming off of that last turn.
Ryan Tyler to get back up to the rear end of Stephen Thompson, and this battle between those two BMW drivers as close here as it was between Bryce Anderson and Paul Skip back at Spa. When these guys start battling, they're just inseparable for the entire race, and Thompson and Tyler, they've been pretty much inseparable since the drop of the green flag here.
Yeah, they've been back and forth, you know, in talking to them post-race from Spa. You know, yeah, it was a competitive race for the whole hour and 20 minutes between the two of them. But at the end of that, they were laughing. Have boys, oh, as it goes around. Just as we're talking about Stephen Thompson, look what happens. Commentator's curse.
Yeah, into the corner and then went round right in front of Ryan Tyler, and Tyler doing very well to get around that one. Live right now, and Brad McCombs now trying to close in on Ryan Tyler as well. McCombs has slowly but surely been creeping up on these guys and definitely bearing the or getting the most rewards out of it after Ryan Tyler having to try and make his way through lap traffic. Brad McCombs is on the move. He's in the top 5 now.
Hold on, Sam. I will be right back. I need to check on something.
Stephen Thompson is trying to get himself back up to speed as we're on board now with Bryce Anderson in the Porsche. Really trying to close that gap, but he's a good 7 seconds behind Paul Skip right now. Doing what he can, and Skip is 8 seconds behind Dennis Diaz, so Skip just trying to keep to himself. And him in a row here with E4A. Has had an incident here. That's not going to help him at all, and I'm guessing it's not going to be an incident because this always triggers off my timing and scoring. As Nirnberger, oh, he goes wide out of turn 1. No incident there for Nirnberger. He can carry on his merry way. He is absolutely fine. Lamborghini ahead of Matt Arrington in the Mercedes. Osborne. For the number 7 Reese's BMW driver, he's got a massive lead over Keith Roycroft right now. As there is Paul Skip right behind him. Down. Between him and Dennis Diaz, we've had an incident. We're on an off-track for Dennis Diaz, and I'm guessing he's extending track limits again, and that's exactly what he did. And no harm, no foul there for Dennis Diaz as he comes to complete another lap. And
sorry about that, but when you're in your office, in your house, and you're broadcasting a race with a computer that uses a lot of electricity, and you start to smell something burning, you stop and check.
Anyway, we have 52 minutes left of this race. We're still waiting for the first round of green flag pit stops to start, as I believe Rex Hoyle pit road again. There he is. Well, he's not on the same. I don't think he's on the same lap as the rest of the GT3 class. So Hoyle having a horrid race here today. I was saying Dennis Diaz. It said he had an off track, but he didn't. He was extending the track limits again, and that's not because it's allowed as long as you don't get a slowdown. And nothing seems to be slowing Dennis Diaz down right now.
Dennis Diaz, he's flying on this thing. He's got a 36-second gap over second place. It's pretty much his race to lose right now. Paul Skip, he's on an island all by himself, kind of. He's got almost 6 seconds over Bryce Anderson, who has got another 9 over Ryan Tyler, who's got another 6 over Brad McCombs, who's got another 5 over Terry Calgar Jr. So GTE is pretty much spread out tonight.
Unfortunately, and has fallen behind Calgar. Doesn't seem to be enjoying himself right now.
now he's going to be looking for a pit stop. But, you know, the way these guys, they double stint the tires, he might have used up a good bit of tire in this thing. This track may use up tires a lot because it's a lot more technical than the other tracks that we've gone to. It's got a lot more slow speed turns or high speed braking zones. So you're going to be using the tires up on this thing. Maybe he just used it up a bit more. Or, you know, turtle's bad. Turtle's bad.
COTA. And very much spread out across the field right now. The only battle, this is probably the closest battle we're seeing on track right now between Terry Calgar Jr. and Stephen Thompson. As far as the GT3 class goes, they're not really battling amongst each other, and it's like,
you know, Roycroft, he loses it right there.
Yeah. Listen to the finish straight as there goes Paul Boyle going around him. Let's get a replay of what happened to Roycroft right there. As he goes through the first left-hander, just gets on that rumble strip and it just sends his car sideways and face first into the Armco.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck for him there. As now Roycroft needs to get it gathered back up, settle back in, and start finding his rhythm back in this track again.
So they are probably going to maybe I'm expecting.
Well, if Dennis Diaz holds true to form, he's going to find the bottom of the fuel tank on this thing before he brings it in pit side. Dennis Diaz has now tracked down our GT3 leader, Zachary Nirnberger.
Only 47 minutes to the end of this one. This race has gone pretty fast so far.
Yeah, you know, we don't see any, you don't have the caution laps we got to sit and talk through. Once that timer starts, that stopwatch starts, we go an hour and 20 minutes. That's 80 minutes of racing here at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, as we are currently working lap 17. Well, Dennis Diaz is working lap 17. A lot of the rest of the field is working lap 16 or less.
Back a look and see what's happened to him. And this is through the left-handers again towards the start finish straight. And he just ran wide and spun it around, didn't hit anything. Thankfully, great save there for Paul Boyle, actually. That Corvette seems to be pretty good to save once if you have an incident.
Yeah, Tony Watson, he had a battle going with Timothy Emmanuel. It got really tight, but he got around him and took the spot away from him. Moved Tony Watson up one more spot.
Up ever since, and we've had an incident for, and any Marcus Osborne fans into this left-hander. No, it's not really an incident. He didn't really do anything. It was just a so maybe you don't have to look away. Ryan Tyler currently holding on to P4. Brian McCoon is currently holding on to P5. But this only battle on the track despite the two classes, is just this one between Calgary Jr. and Thompson. Nothing else really going on around the track right now.
Oh, sorry about that. Just trying to figure out where the burn smell's coming from. Hope it's not my machine. You ever get that electrical smell, you know?
Yeah. Why Fernando de Oliveira couldn't make it tonight, as Sean Atkins has had another incident here. Let's take a look and see. And no, that's because Sean Atkins was just coming out of pit road. He has actually just made his pit stop, so Atkins is last on track right now. As we'll go on board with Terry Calgary Jr. in his Porsche. Right behind him is Stephen Thompson right there in his BMW. I'm waiting for pit stops to happen here from the field, and usually in any other track right now they'd have made their pit stop by now, but they're leaving it incredibly late this time round.
Well, you know, it is 80 minutes of racing. We're coming up on, we're getting close to 40. So you want to get close to this mark. You want to make sure that you can do it on one stop. So you got to get past that 40-minute mark so you can do the one stop. It'll be interesting to see, is this going to be tires? Is this going to be fuel only?
Problems.
Well, this battle with Stephen Thompson and Terry Calgary Jr. is really heating up.
Into the position he's in now. Calgary Jr. has not really been able to get away, as we do have one in pit road. Finally, it's Matt Arrington bringing him down to pit road here, Byron.
Yeah, Matt Arrington bringing it into the pits. We'll have to take a look and see if it's going to be a tires or just a fuel only.
Fuel in first, then they change the tires, so that's the rule of GT racing, and we're going to keep an eye on this.
There goes tires.
Yep, he's getting tires.
Well, that answers the question of GT3. Are they going to take tires or not? Matt Arrington electing to take tires, pitting from the 4th spot in GT3.
I hate to admit it, but Osborne does have a bit of front end damage, I'm going to say. Timothy
Emmanuel coming in.
Yeah. BMW driver, does he take tires? We'll find out in just a second. We'll find out by his lap time. Michael Ogren still holding on to P9 right now. And this is another battle we're seeing brewing right now. Ogren versus Boyle.
Yeah, the battle, you know, we've seen this how many times in this league. These guys will get out on the track and it gets strung out a little bit, but by the time we get to the closing stages, we've got battles all over the place to keep track of, and it gets really interesting. Tires going on for Timothy Emanuele.
Ogren not really putting up much of a fight.
Well, they both have yet to make their pit stops, so maybe wanting to make sure they get a clean entry, a clean exit, because you know pit stops, green flag stops have already started, so maybe they're just making sure they've got the fuel, they don't damage your car, you know, go for too much. And as I say that, they really tighten up the battle. Oh!
I saw that one coming. Not really sure what that was about. It seemed like he was driving a bit angry there, was Michael Ogren. Annoyed right there, and for some reason must have lost his nerve and literally just drove into the side of Osborne.
I'm going back and taking another look at that.
Yeah. Damage on that Reese's BMW, and yeah, the car just went around out of nowhere. He has some pretty significant damage on the right, on the left rear of that BMW.
Yeah, he'll be looking to bring it pit side as soon as he can get to the pits. He is all over the track with that thing. Very hard to control right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're also looking at two different classes too, GT3 and GTE.
Go back to the battle between Cowger and Thompson. Actually, Cowger upped him to bring it down to pit road right now, so he's going to make his pit stop. So this battle going to continue with strategy involved between Cowger and Thompson. Thompson going to continue for another lap here.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look. Cowger looks like he is the first GTE to be bringing it in pit side. I'm going to pay attention to his pit stop to see if he is taking tires or if he's a fuel only. We saw the GT3s taking tires. We'll see what the strategy is with the GTEs. Yeah, I can imagine Ogren's going to want to come take that fast repair.
Cowger.
No tires for Terry Cowger.
Yeah. The clock is out and away to continue his race, as there is Ogren. He takes his fast repair, probably not going to take tires at this point. Marcus Osborne is in pit road as well to repair the damage on his car.
Yeah, how'd you like to be a fly on the wall in that chat right now? No tires for the 17 machine of Ogren. Race leader has come to pit lane. Let's see if he takes tires. And so is Paul Sapp. Or Paul Skip, sorry. Blech.
Pit road along with the race leader Dennis Diaz. Does Bryce Anderson come in? The answer is no. And lead a lap here, and obviously you don't get bonus points for leading a lap in this series. That's all a NASCAR and not a GT race, not a GT racing thing. So you don't get a bonus point for leading a lap, unfortunately.
Yep, fuel only for Dennis Diaz. Paul Skip.
Yeah, Thompson obviously has not made his pit stop either. Paul Skip getting out comfortably ahead of Terry Cowger Jr., by the way. I will say that. And Paul Boyle still not made his way down pit road yet. He's in P7. Made his pit stop very early. He had to burn a fast repair in that Angry Panda number 3 after getting damage after jumping over the turtle through the S's. Now, is he going to try and make it to the end here? I think he will. Question is, did he put enough fuel in? Because he's still got 36 minutes left to run.
Yeah, we are just past the halfway mark in this thing. As I got my eyes on the leader, race leader at the moment, Bryce Anderson. I'm looking for him to be bringing it pit side here very shortly.
Is the polar opposite version of that long left-hander that you get at the Turkish Grand Prix track, the Istanbul track, as Bryce Anderson is not going to bring it in pit road this time round.
No, Bryce Anderson keeping it out there. That gives him a 20-second gap on Ryan Tyler.
The number 6 machine. Well, he's not made his pit stop yet either, so interesting right now. We're just seeing Keith Roycroft in pit road. You can see him right there, and he's trying to get himself going. He's finally taken that fast repair. Let's see what he can do with it as Marcus Osborne goes past him through the pit stops, and there goes Osborne's had more damage. Had another crash here. He's got more damage on his car.
Yeah, he's not having the night that he's looking for here at COTA, but, you know, COTA's a tough track, you know, for anyone to come and road race at. It's an FIA-approved track. That means international racing in the Formula One series comes here and rips this place up, and it's got to be a tough track for that to happen.
So more bad luck there for Marcus Osborne, who currently sits in P5 in GT3 right now. Made that P6.
Feels bad.
That feels bad. He's already been down pit road, let's not forget. He's up to 2nd place. He's probably making a long run of it as Dave Ferrara brings it into pit road in the GT3 category. We're still waiting for pit stops from Bryce Anderson and Ryan Tyler, as we are past halfway now. So that means we are going to take our halfway break right about now whilst we get these pit stops figured out. Once we come back, we will bring you the remainder of this race. So please do not go anywhere as we go to our commercial break. We'll be right back very soon. He might be, yeah, he's going to bring it down pit road for the first. He's lucky he's only just come down pit road now because
he needed that fast repair.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was bringing it into pit lane, got it locked up, just slapped that pit wall hard. Not really the way you want to enter pit road, but if you got a fast repair in your pocket and you can use it, that's the time when it's needed, let me tell you.
He's got out comfortably ahead of Terry Cowger Jr. So Cowger losing out through that pit stop despite Thompson hitting the wall on pit entry.
Yeah, and through pit cycles, Dennis Diaz, he is legitimately in second place right at the moment. Legit on the track in position. Bryce Anderson is 18 seconds ahead of him, but Bryce has yet to bring it to pit lane yet. And Brad McCollum has yet to come to pit lane.
This time he's currently sitting third place overall through the penultimate corner right now, and he keeps it out again for another lap as he comes through the final corner. So McComb's not giving it up just yet as Diaz is trying to close the gap on Bryce Anderson. You've got to think, well, the GT class are not taking tyres in this one, so he's got to be feeling pretty confident in his tyres. The question is, how long is Bryce Anderson willing to keep it out there before he has to bring it down pit road for fuel?
Well, he doesn't have a choice. There's no way you can run an hour and 20 minutes on the fuel tank on the load that you have here. As we see, Tony Watson on GT3 class has made his pit stop and is now exiting pit lane. And he's going to hold that third position. Tony Watson having a very good GT3 run tonight.
He has brought it down pit road, so at least once already. So Hoyle up to third place, and remember, he spun it on lap one, got some pretty significant damage, and had to bring it back in and bring it into pit road and get that repaired. As we've got a incident for Marcus Osborne. He was having such a great run, sitting in a podium spot, and then in my opinion, had that taken away from him.
Yeah, Michael Ogren getting into the side of him. Two BMWs on the track, but they're in two different classes. And I don't know if it was Michael Ogren being upset that he couldn't get around Osborne, thinking he should have been led around as I'm a faster class. In my opinion, it just looked like he, well, if you're not going to get out of my way the way I want you to, I'm going to move you out of my way kind of move. But that was in my opinion. I don't know what happened. I'll have to ask maybe if we can post-race or talk to the guys later on during the week and before the next week's broadcast. As Bryce Anderson is still holding it out there, but his lead has been chopped down from 18 to 16 seconds as Dennis Diaz is really starting to chop in on that.
Finally brings it down to pit road to make his stop.
Yeah, but Zachary Nirnberger has one heck of a bit of a lead on the GT3 class. It's going to be interesting, Sam, to see, does he take tires and will he hold that lead, on the pit cycle?
To take tires. He's got a pretty decent lead over Matt Arrington, so doesn't really have to worry right now.
If he takes tires, that lead is going to shift. It should be coming out. He should be able to take a set of tires and come out right about the same time. No tires for Zachary Nirnberger.
Longer with tires. We've seen that already from other GT3 drivers such as Timothy Emanuele and Tony Watson, who did take tires on his pit stop. So interesting right there as I'm looking to put a lap on him, and Boyle has had a pretty up and down race here tonight. He's second to last in GTE right now. Bryce Anderson finally in pit road here, Byron.
Yeah, Bryce Anderson couldn't take it any longer on fuel. So the answer to the $54,000 question, Sam, is about 57 minutes is all you're going to get a tank of Go Fast here in a GTE car.
Second place back.
Yeah, Paul Skip's going to take second place back. But what did I tell you, Sam? Every time we do this league, we get through the pits, it gets strung out. We get in the pit cycles, and we got battles on the track. We have a very close battle for second place right now.
Continued from last week at Spa, and this is exactly what Bryce Anderson wanted. He wanted to use probably those extra laps just to run the fuel down and probably get a bit closer to Paul Skip. He's got that done. Question is Bryce Anderson going to get around Paul Skip? Skip has been pretty impressive here tonight, though.
Yeah, catching him's one thing, getting around him something different. And yeah, I can tell you they were close to each other at Spa. As a matter of fact, I think I became part of the story there towards the end of that race. Hey, you got the ESB and PH Aware Autism Awareness car some airtime.
All that made a bit of a meal of getting around you. Just didn't want to get past you as quickly as Anderson did.
What?
For second place, Brad McCombs has managed to get out ahead of Ryan Tyler. This is your battle for P4 right now, and you were right what you said earlier. They might all be spread out earlier, but the battles could really start coming up near the end, and we're starting to see that right now. A battle for second and a battle for fourth right now.
Yeah, and Marcus Osborne is continuing to have a little bit of trouble. He's sliding backwards a little further. Sean Adkins is now caught up to him. Sean hasn't had the race that he's been looking for. As brakes get locked up right in front of him. That was almost Code Brown moment right there. Check out the battle with Bryce Anderson and Paul Skip for second place.
Yeah, and Skip going on drag race down the backstretch right now. Skip on the outside. Anderson has the favourable line on the inside as they come through the left-hander. Skip going to try and cross him over here and be on the outside again, but Anderson just going to hold on and take away that second place.
Yeah, catching is one thing, getting around something else. Anderson was able to get around Skip, but Skip is right there on his tail, holding the pressure on him. If Bryce Anderson makes one mistake, like we saw earlier, when these three were racing together with Thompson thrown in the mix, like Thompson made that mistake, they'll pounce and get right around him.
Is probably just been faster. That's probably how. Anyway, Thompson just running by himself now in P6, still able to keep it up there in the top 6. There's Terry Calgan Jr. on board with him right now. Anderson and Skip there, and Skip, you got to feel, has had the faster car between the two all night long. Bull probably want to get that position back as quickly as possible here, Byron.
Yeah, but, you know, like we say, catching is one thing, getting around him something different. Bryce Anderson making every effort under the sun to make that car feel a lot wider than it actually is to Paul Skip.
Involved again. Ogren trying to make a move on the inside of both Emanuele and he went around, nearly collecting Osborne again, so I'm just not having a good night tonight.
No, and every time he sees that orange Reese's BMW seems to be when he has the most of the incidents happen. Yeah, you got to feel for the guy. You know, I'm feeling more for Marcus Osborne than I am anyone else tonight.
Getting closer and closer to the end, and one man has been the dominant force in it all since the drop of the green flag, and it's this man right here, Dennis Diaz. Just for these past 2 weeks, well, since Suzuka, had a bad race, the race after Suzuka, won last week at Spa, and looks dead on to be winning it again here tonight. He's 24 seconds ahead of Bryce Anderson. And whilst Bryce Anderson and Paul Skip are battling behind him, that gap is just going to continue to get bigger.
Yeah, I've been just paying attention to Marcus Osborne. Here we go again. Marcus Osborne and Michael Ogren, bumper to bumper. Michael Ogren trying to work around GT3 traffic, getting caught in the technical parts, getting impatient. This has disaster written on it if Ogren can't get by him, which it looks like he will right now. Because Emanuele, Osborne, and Atkins are in a three-way fight for the for position in GT3.
That's going to give an advantage to Osborne down the start-finish straight. Can Emanuele hold on, though? Osborne, even though he's got a fast car, is still pretty darn fast as they're about to be lapped by one Mr. Zachary Nirnberger, who gets around Sean Atkins just as easily.
Yeah, Zachary Nirnberger got that Lamborghini in the win for GT3 tonight.
Now very comfortably ahead of Tony Watson, who's only just making his way down the backstretch. I think Arrington has only just made his way in one. So that's how big the gap is between second and third in GT3.
Yeah, 21-second gap in GT3. Going back to, we got a 24-second gap for the lead in GTE with Dennis Diaz out in front. That battle between Bryce Anderson and Paul Skip seems to have settled down as Paul Skip's dropped off the rear bumper.
Some Beckett's at Silverstone. This track is very much a concoction of different corners from different tracks, and you can see that right there. Maggots and Beckett's are very much mirrored in this one, as we've got another incident for Marcus Osborne, unfortunately. Going to slow down. Nirnberger was caught on the wiser, and Osborne goes around. Night to remember here tonight, Byron.
Yeah, Marcus Osborne. He has been. He started off running with a decent run. It just you didn't have. He had a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of adversity he had to deal with, and then he had some more adversity he had to deal with that, in my opinion, wasn't his fault, and just a rough night for the number 7 machine of Marcus Osborne.
Looking for another decent result out of this one. Didn't have the best end to the race last week at Spa, but looking good for a top 5 right now. He's decent gap ahead of Thompson, as there is Skip, and yeah, you're right, he has completely fallen off the back of the 69 right now, and going to be looking to get another 3rd place here like the one he got last week. Nirnberger, despite the contact he had with Marcus Osborne, is still out comfortably ahead of Matt Arrington. Nirnberger about to be lapped again by Dennis Diaz.
Yeah, Dennis Diaz just got that number 420, beat Meme MW out in the wind. Holds a pretty line around this track. Yes, the man does test the track limits a bit, but every good race driver is going to test those limits and keep him as far as push him as far as he can. Because Dave Ferrara has issues on the track.
The wall, so Ferrara just a second time he's done that here tonight.
Yeah, like I say it on our NASCAR races a lot. As a catchphrase of mine. Wrong tracker. I even got that. Worked it into a road race for us tonight, Sam. But I'm gonna try and figure out a way on a NASCAR race to say turtle's bad. Turtle's bad.
For internal reasons, but we get to call it here tonight anyway, so it's just as good as we're cycling through the field right now. Not really any battles going on right now.
No, I got battle for between Paul Boyle and Michael Ogren, and at the tail end of the GTE class is about the closest battle I see going on the track right now, as we're within 10 minutes to go.
Through the final section of the track, and they get around Keith Roycroft to put a lap on him. That is Ogren. That's your battle for P9 overall. Carrying a lot of speed in that number 17 BMW, is still very capable of mounting a challenge on Boyle. An unusual incident there.
Well, maybe Boyle's seen some of the moves that have been done earlier on, or Boyle has damage. I don't know. We did see turtles bad for a lot of these drivers. I'm sure there's been a lot of turtle issues that we haven't picked up tonight. So, yeah, Boyle just moving over and letting him go.
In. Really closed up between the two. So we're going to go to that little battle right now. Can Ryan Tyler stay ahead of Stephen Thompson? We'll find out before this is over. 7 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this one.
Well, Stephen Thompson has really closed that gap up on Ryan Tyler. Tyler had another lockup on corner entry that really allowed Stephen Thompson to gobble up some more of that real estate. And Thompson is all over the rear wing of Ryan Tyler right at the moment.
A very good P4 here tonight. Started near the back of the GTE field as there is Stephen Thompson. Still got that damage on the front of his car. And Ryan Tyler runs wide again out of turn one. That's not going to be good for him as Thompson actually does not capitalize on that. Often to stay behind the number 6 right now.
I don't know if Thompson had the throttle presence right there. I think it caught Thompson by surprise more than anything.
As they make their way down towards another left-hander here, and then a tight tight left-hander, sorry, not right-hander, onto the back stretch here, and this might be where Thompson might try and use some speed here, as Thompson almost loses the back end, coming through the left-hander onto the straight now. Might have lost a bit of momentum there, but we'll try and see if he closes the gap. He looks like he is, but we are ready tonight. Catching is one thing, passing is another.
Yep, and I've seen a couple of spots where Tyler has been aggressive on the brakes into the corners. And Stephen Thompson, even though Tyler's been as aggressive as he has, where you see him locking him up, Thompson driving it in deeper as he's locking those tires up around those corners, and we got a drag race coming down the backside of the track here. Move
by Stephen Thompson there into the penultimate corner. That might let Ryan Tyler back in on the inside, but no, Thompson going to fend him off there. Brilliant passing maneuver by Stephen Thompson there to move his way up to P5.
Yeah, that is a brilliant example of using one corner exit to set up your corner entry on the next one, and he just masterfully made that move on the outside and got him around. As I see more brake lockup coming out of Ryan Tyler, got to wonder if he's not got that bias dialed a little bit tight for him.
Looking dead set to finish in third place here at COTA. Not going to get the hat-trick after an early incident, put him out of the running for that, as there goes Ogren, a big dive to the inside for the BMW. Just not wasting any time with anybody. He doesn't seem to have the patience for anybody here tonight.
No, he doesn't. He hasn't had the night that he's been looking for. He's in the bottom part of the GTE running order. I know what it's like to be there. I was there last week at Spa, but he feels he should be a little more up, and he seems to be taking it out, his aggression out on the track here in the final stages.
Yes, he is. So Osborne out as finished third here, very comfortably ahead of this man, Brad McCombs. Bryce Anderson looking now comfortable in second place, but the most comfortable driver of all right now is this man, Dennis Diaz. He probably only has about 2 laps to go before the checkered flag here tonight.
Yeah, minute 16 has already been expired on the clock. As we're going to be watching for Barney the flag man to see if that white flag goes waving when he crosses that start-finish line for the last time, or for the next time.
And once he comes to the line, we are going to get an onboard shot of the. We're going to get an onboard lap with Dennis Diaz as we show you how this track pans out as we go to this long right-hander here. But in the opposite direction. Through the final corner. Now we're going to go on board with one Mr. Dennis Diaz. And on board with your race leader as he comes up the hill towards turn 1 right now. And people call this trap boring, but I find it quite entertaining. Coming through turn 1. Out of turn 1, got to be very careful coming down the hill right now in towards the S's. You got the right-hander first though, and then this S's section, which is modelled after Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone.
Got to be very careful of those turtles because we've seen it how many times the car's gotten launched off a turtle in those S's.
Coming up to lap somebody right here as he comes to the left-hander. And might be pretty hard pressed here to try and complete a lap here before checkered flag comes out. We'll find out and see if he actually does it.
Well, the white flag was not waving from Barney when he took the start-finish line. We'll have to see when he comes around. He might be seeing the white flag from Barney when he goes by the start-finish line.
Tight left-hander here. Definitely through there. He's coming up on Paul Boyle to put a lap on him now, and then this long right-hander, as I've already mentioned, modelled off the long left-hander at Turkey. The 2 corners, and then he will make his way. White flag lap here at COTA. You can see right now the white flag is in the air from Barney, so this the final lap here at COTA. And Dennis Diaz only has to keep it on the black stuff, and he has got another win under his belt here in this series.
Yeah, 30-second lead for your race leader in the GTE class over Bryce Anderson, who's got another 6 seconds over Paul Skip. Those are your top 3 spots. Zachary Nirnberger still holding the top spot in the GTE. He's got or GT3, and he's still got 12 seconds over Matt Arrington, who's on his debut race, is going to get a podium in the GTE class with Tony Watson rolling third.
Down the backstretch right now. Might get a cheeky lap on Paul Boyle before this is over. And Boyle is close back up to the back of Michael Ogren because, as you saw on replay just there, Ogren had another spin about a lap ago. As we're still focused on Dennis Diaz. And you got to think now, after winning this one here again, Byron, he's got to be on track to possibly here. But Bryce Anderson in second place again. Damage limitation there for the 69 man who's still in second place in the championship.
Yeah, it's going to boil down to the last couple of races to see settle this thing out. Dennis Diaz, great showing tonight. Tamed this wild beast we call COTA, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Great job by the pilot of the 420. But Bryce Anderson, hats off to him, stays running in second place, even though he's 30 seconds off the pace. Doesn't matter. Second place, he's maximizing his points.
In a row here in the series for the man in the Meme MW. Second place is going to go to this man right here. It's going to go to Bryce Anderson as he makes his way through the final 2 corners of the track, and like I said, damage limitation for Bryce Anderson. He's second in the points right now, owing to those 2 wins he had earlier in the season. He's going to cross the line again and claim another 3rd place, going to Paul Skip. A great result for him, and crossing the line, winning for GT3. He's get his first race win of the season. Zachary Nirnberger, a fantastic drive for him, and Matt Arrington comes out of the final turn. He'll claim 2nd place in GT3. A great result on his debut here tonight.
Yeah, GT3 is going to be, at season end, is going to be a very competitive class. Checkers fly. Matt Arrington, his first inaugural run here, brings it home 2nd. Tony Watson, is he's holding strong for the championship, bringing it home in the 3rd spot.
As well as Zachary Nirnberger, the night belongs to Nirnberger and Diaz. Those 2 bringing home wins in their respective categories, but Diaz getting the overall win, of course. And the 2nd. I've seen all night tonight, Byron, but definitely a good race still overall.
Circus is a really hard track to navigate. It was meant as an international racing track, mostly for the Formula Series, to come in here and rip this thing apart. You saw a lot of technical parts of this track. You've got to be up on your game. You don't get a mental break here, except for that long backstretch. And even then, you really don't get a mental break, because you need to hit your marks and get on those brakes for the downhill through the double apex right-hander after the left-hander on the backstretch.
The cool down lap, so we're gonna go and reach out to the man that won in GT3, and we're gonna try and see if we can find him. I don't think he's in Discord yet. There he is. Byron, you're with our GT3 winner right now.
Nirnberger, congratulations, dude. You're on the top spot GT3 podium. How's it feel?
It feels really good. I honestly came into this not thinking I had the pace, and somehow snuck pole position and just kind of kept it consistent and didn't crash. So it feels good.
Well, that's the key to endurance racing, is consistency, keeping the car healthy. I noticed a lot of the GT3 cars came in and took tires on their pit stop. Were you one of them or no?
Oh, I was afraid that they wouldn't take tires and I would, and I would just get caught up behind people. So I figured I'd hold out there as long as I can, try not to get stuck behind any lap traffic, and just hope my tires would hang on.
Well, it looks like whatever strategy you decided on, it paid off. That's why crew chiefs get paid the big bucks. Your thoughts on COTA, man, racing this track with the elevation change and the technical parts through the S's and after the long straightaway?
Yeah, we were talking about that. If you really mess with that first turn, it really throws you off for probably the next 6 or 7. So definitely a tricky track. But by that same token, when you're in a tough battle, if you can put the pressure on people and they mess up, it really slows them down too. So yeah, just try and stay consistent, make sure I don't hit any of those curbs going through those S's.
Well, you finally put her on. You've been knocking on the door of Victory Lane. You got it put into Victory Lane tonight. Anyone you want to thank for helping get you there?
Shout out to Mark for putting on this league, as well as my Pony Express teammates. So, we've been putting a lot of practice in, and it's paying off. So thanks to them.
Well, there's your race winner in the GT3 class, Zachary Nirnberger.
In GT3, once it lets me.
I got you.
We are he's with me right now. Matt Arrington making your debut here tonight at COTA. You bring it home in second place in the Mercedes. You've got to be happy with your run here tonight.
Thanks. I'm pretty happy. I didn't have a very good qualifying. I couldn't keep it off of in the track limits, and didn't get a qualifying time. So I had to start in the back, and by the time I got up to second, Zach was pretty much gone. So that was pretty much it. I was just trying my best to catch up, but making a little progress, but not enough.
Just trying to pick up, were you hoping for that bit of chaos at the start to just move your way forward, or were you just trying to be patient and just pick people up as they come along?
Yeah, I was just trying to be patient. It's my first race with these guys, and I've been running the F3 series a little bit with them, and figure I'd hop in here because I like COTA a lot. So just being patient and trying to pick them off as they came. I got a little bit more aggressive as I started realizing that I had a good shot at it when I got closer to the front. So.
Down to Florida for Daytona. What are your thoughts heading into that one next week? You're going to be there for that one?
Yeah, I think I'll give it a shot. I've actually raced a go-kart around there in real life a long time ago, but it was only about 80 miles an hour down the straightaway, so you had time to look around and see what was going on. I'm sure these will be a lot faster than that.
Places tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I'll just give a shout out to SLG Motorsports. That's kind of my team. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me, and I had a good time.
All right, please go and get a rest, and we'll catch you next week at Daytona.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Joining us from second place, GT3 now joining Byron. Down here at COTA is Dennis Diaz. Byron.
Dennis, that was one heck of a show you put on here at COTA. Don't tell me you haven't got this track figured out.
It took a while, but the first practice didn't go so well, but the second one and the third one went pretty well. And I think I have it unlocked. I think I know what to do around here.
Well, it looks like you knew what to do around here. We were watching you do what you do around here. You didn't have really any serious incidents to have to deal with, but as every good driver does, you do press those track limits to squeeze every little bit of speed and time you can out of it. You put the spanking on. You got to victory lane for the third time. What's your opinion of COTA now that you've actually been in an endurance race on it?
COTA is a weird track. It looks simple until you actually drive it. And it is one of the most complex circuits that we've done so far. Nothing is as it seems. So you kind of have to learn every corner as their own, and then you have to put them all together, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, well, it looked like it was easier done than said for you tonight. Dude, anyone you want to congratulate and shout out to for the victory, third time in that victory lane tonight.
Joe Hutchings from Hutchport Racing for the MMW. I guess the livery is giving me good luck now. But Mark for hosting the league. You guys for broadcasting it.
You can't get rid of that paint job now, right?
Yeah, I know. I guess it's ingrained, so I had to stick with it now.
Yep.
Yeah, so also to friends and family watching, another win in the cards. And yeah, to everyone that has raced in this league so far, to everyone that's participated, it's been a good season racing with them.
Well, we look forward to going to, where are we at next week? Daytona.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that in real life as well.
Well, I'm going to be looking forward to watching you guys there at Daytona next week. You know what? Congratulations on the win. I'll see you in the battlefield later on this week, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
of course.
and we'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
That's your race winner in the GTE class, everyone. That's Dennis Diaz.
Him on the season, and definitely going to be extending his points over the man that we're going to be reaching out to now, and that's Mr. Bryce Anderson. If my SDK actually decides to work, actually, as we bring up Bryce Anderson right now, and Bryce, another close run battle between you and Paul Skip. You guys just seem to be inseparable at the moment.
I was really, really excited to come out of the pits right behind him, and was real good close racing for a few laps there. I think we went too wide through multiple turns.
Didn't
It
have
was
that
awesome.
Didn't have that pesky 75 car in between you this time.
Yeah, no traffic to help me out.
You had some making up to do early on after an early mistake. Well, I think it was a slowdown that put you back through the field there. Just talk about driving your way back up to second place here tonight. Can't have been easy.
Yeah, definitely. That slowdown really didn't help. And then after that slowdown, I think I was in like P7, maybe P6. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know at one point we were pretty much going 4 wide through the hairpin as we all got good runs on each other, and nobody wanted to give up that run. So that was a tough battle to get through the GTE field to get back to a point where I could fight Paul for P2. And just lucky that the pit strategy worked out, that I was able to come out and fight for P2.
Move your way forward later on in the race.
So I was actually really surprised at how early P1 and P2 pitted. So I decided that if they were going to pit that early, I think I still had maybe 9 or so laps in the tank. That if they were going to pit that early, then I'm just going to keep going until it's fumes and hope that I can put out faster lap times than it would take to fill the tank up with more gallons of gas, which worked.
Sit second in the points, but Dennis has extended his lead over you once again here this week. Looking ahead to Daytona, you're going to be trying to cut that lead down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Daytona. The 24 Hours of Daytona was, I think, maybe the first race, the first endurance race that I did. That was maybe 3 weeks into starting iRacing and sim racing in general. So I'm really fond of that track, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh man, just again, gotta thank you guys for the broadcast. I know that you guys have had some technical issues, but appreciate you guys sticking through it and sticking with us. And I also gotta give a thanks to Mark for hosting the league, and everybody who's donated to the league to make it happen.
Good barn burner.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you guys next week.
Had a lot of fun out there. I mean, he probably won't be too pleased that he lost a bit more ground on Dennis Diaz, though, after Dennis just absolutely put a whooping on the field tonight.
Yeah, but you know what? He saw the pit strategy that got implemented, and he did do the overtake with the pit cycles. And hats off to him, man, just running that thing to the fumes. How many times do you see it? Do what the leader doesn't do, and it can help you in your strategy.
That track, we know it ourselves. This one is going to be interesting with the fact that they know that there's a championship on the line. Going to be a lot of hard racing around there next week.
Yeah, and a lot of that hard racing is going to come in the form of a draft, because with the downforce package that they run in these cars in this league, guys are going to be drafting on the super speedway part, but they're also going to be racing themselves real hard, because you know how tight those infield corners can get, especially at at the first and second horseshoes.
To the points to the results for tonight's race, and bringing home the victory for the second week in a row was Dennis Diaz. He was joined on the podium by Bryce Anderson in second place, and Paul Skip picking up his second consecutive podium here at COTA. Brad McCoon's rebounding back for P4 after a poor qualifying position. He'll be happy with the top 5 here tonight. Stephen Thompson rounding out your top 5, just ahead of Terry Calgar Jr. in P6. P7 going to Mark Dillon Jr. and Michael Ogren. A tough race for him tonight. Very aggressive moves and very, as he called it in Discord, a very sloppy race for himself. He gets P8. P9 going to Paul Boyle, who just wasn't really on par tonight. And Ryan Tyler rounds out your top 10 after a late incident.
Yeah, GT3 class tonight. Zachary Nirnberger bringing home that top spot, making that Lamborghini fly around COTA. Matt Arrington, his debut run here with the league, he brings home the second spot. Tony Watson rounding out your top 3, followed by Rex Hoyle, Keith Roykoff, John Adkins, Dave Ferrara, Timothy Emanuele, and the heartbreak kid tonight. You hate to see it, but the Reese's number 7 machine, Marcus Osborne, bringing her home in the last spot.
For amateur series, sorry, they changed the name midway through season. Very hard to keep up with these things. But anyway, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Looking ahead on the schedule, we now have no more broadcasts scheduled for the remainder of the week due to Memorial Weekend. So the next race will be the Rowdy Energy Cup Series as they head to their next race. But for now, all we want to do is wish you one and all a very happy Memorial Weekend. Go home, kick your feet up, enjoy the Indy 500 this weekend. I know I will. And we will catch you at the next race on Monday. So all that's left of me to say is keep it clean, keep it green. We will catch you then. Have a good night.